O Z Y W O M B podcast. I'm Shan.
I'm Aria.
Say Ari.
Abby.
Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. Let's go. Hey, this is Shan, mom of the girls. Thank you for checking in. If this is your first time at Cozy Womb Podcast, welcome. It's a very random but frequently posted show. Enjoy what you can when you can. It's for new parents. Y'all are very welcome. It's for second, third, or more time around parents too. And I did not forget those of you who aren't quite there yet, haven't had your first kid, but you're thinking about it and you're just curious on what it takes to go ahead and survive the kids that you may make. Cool. Since we're all here, let's get into today's episode. So, it's week 39. You think that this baby's coming, and nothing's happening. You're not dilated. You don't feel any contractions. Nothing's happening. You just feel a lot of pressure. Cool. Week 40 comes. All right, you know this baby about to drop like the hottest album on the block. Nothing's happening. What happens when you pass the 40-week mark? That's what we're talking about, because I have my own experience with passing 40 weeks. I don't wish it on anyone. I remember with my first kid getting to 39 weeks with no stretch marks. My G. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Got to 40 weeks. The stretch marks instantly came. All right. On the sides, in the middle, from the bottom up. Then 40 weeks passed and she still wasn't here. I definitely went past 40 weeks. And with her sister that I had years later, she was pushing her luck, and I got to my 40-week mark and she wasn't making any type of notification that, hey, I'll be moving out soon. I'm packing bags. I got my boxes. She wasn't giving me no clues. So I was like, you know what? We're not about to do this again. So I got induced with my first kid, and I got induced with my second kid. 1 out of 10 babies are usually overdue. Overdue babies, to me, are annoying because they just sitting in there in the recliner, okay? And they're not trying to come out. People calling you, texting you, you giving the same response over and over and over again. People finding on Facebook, hey, where's the baby? Nothing. People texting you late at night, I thought your due date was such and such. What happened? Nothing. It was so irritating, and I was completely over being pregnant at 6 months with my second kid, and I was over being pregnant at 7 months with my first kid. It's when you're ready to be done, you're ready to be done. And when you get to your 34th week, that's when you start going to your doctors twice a week instead of once a week. And it gets really frustrating, and it seems pointless, because if you have a baby that's not doing anything and you're not dilating, it's kind of like going in there to let somebody check you, all to say, okay, nothing's happening. Every time. And that's how it was for me, and I hated it. The risk of delivering over 40 weeks, it may vary. Everybody's different, but new moms will tend to be more worried. You get more anxiety. You get way more anxious when it comes to, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? You start reading all of the things that say this will help bring on labor, with the garlic, with the drinking nasty herbal things to make you go poo, or to make everything come on faster, or eating hot foods to bring on the labor pains, or start it up naturally. None of that worked with me. Okay, based on your last ovulation, your due date is selected. So sometimes It may come before, the baby may come before that due date. Sometimes it may come after. But when I tell you my first kid was way off, and a lot of doctors do not want to deliver a baby past 40 weeks because there's a lot of complications for the baby and for the mom. For me, I remember my doctor saying, hey, we're at 41 weeks and I don't deliver late babies. So tonight, we are getting you in the hospital tonight. They're going to do your intake and we're going to start you on your, induced labor. And then by tomorrow, we'll have a baby. I said, oh, thank you. Because the reason why I didn't come in is because he didn't tell me to come in. So he didn't tell me to make another appointment. So I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm just going to go home and wait for this baby to do something. So I didn't say anything. With Aria, her doctor, I think it was Dr. Gordon, he just was like, oh, so your other baby was overdue, so let's see if anything happens. If not, we'll just go ahead and induce this one too. Well, hello, we're back to inducing again. So a good amount of oxygen is in question when it comes to your baby being late, because the bigger they get, the more they start cutting off room for the umbilical cord. They start taking up more, what is that called? Amniotic fluid, that stuff that they be swimming in and stuff. They be taking more of that in, and if they don't have enough amniotic fluid, it can lead to poor lung development. Chubby babies tend to have more fluid than others. The baby can go into like fetal distress if their size increases and they're just in there and they're not having enough room. And it's hard for big babies to survive inside the womb, let alone be able to come through the birth canal. The bigger the baby, the harder it is to come through the birth canal, and you might have to have like an emergency C-section. I remember at the last minute, my doctor thought with Anya, my first kid, that we were going to have an emergency C-section because she was not coming down. And that man got that little clamp thing, and he like vacuumed her out. I'm just like, ooh! It felt like the best poo in life. Now, what you want to keep in mind when you get closer to your quote-unquote delivery day is the baby movement. If you're noticing that your baby is not moving at all, or not moving as much as it used to, you need to call your doctor and you need to have them do like an ultrasound, a non-stress test. And if you're feeling any sort of pain and it's not consistent, you need to do like a contraction stress test. You want to check like your kick counts is what they call it. Basically, if you notice decreases in the baby kicking or moving or elbow hits and stuff like that, let your doctor know. The contraction stress test is basically performed near the end of 34 weeks to determine how your baby will manage the contractions when they start coming in, to see if they're like in a healthy, predicament for that to occur. The non-stress test is not invasive. They're not putting anything in you. They're just basically putting something on top of your stomach to record the baby movement and heartbeat and contractions. I remember having that when Anya was pushing on a nerve below my waist, to where my feeling in my right leg will go out and I couldn't walk. So I remember that part. And then Old Faithful ultrasound. If you want to see what's going on with this baby for real, go ahead and do an ultrasound. In Florida, they will do as many ultrasounds as you want, as you would like, and very often. Here in Georgia, they really don't do a lot of ultrasounds. They stick to the standard time frame of when you're supposed to get an ultrasound. But I'm sure if it's emergency, the doctors will go ahead and order an ultrasound to be done. But I hope that you do not experience a baby being late, because the whole being induced, it takes away from like the whole good ending of labor. I've never experienced my water being broken on its own. It's always been broken by the nurse. I've never experienced contractions without getting meds to start my contractions. When I did feel those contractions, got it out. I hated it. It was the worst pain ever. And I am pro drugs. I know a lot of women aren't. I know a lot of women want to go the old natural way. Listen, kudos to you, fist pumps. I am not the one. I know I am not the one, and I'm comfortable not being the one. I will take drugs any day. Legal ones. So good luck, you moms out there. If you're at your 39th week, I hope the baby comes this week. I hope the baby comes on its due date. I hope everything goes good. I hope you're healthy. I hope the baby's healthy. I hope that your family's happy. And you guys get to go home and start your lives together, okay? My name is Shan. I tell you no lies when it comes to this mom stuff, this labor stuff, this pregnancy stuff, this mom life. I tell you no lies. I'm just sharing because I be caring. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for still listening. Got any advice or just want to ask anything? You can reach me on IG at Cozy Womb Mama or at whoisshan.com, or you can email me at cozywombbmama@gmail.com. Thanks.